All right, it's live streaming.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. The time is 7:12 p.m. This is the Leadership Committee meeting. My name is Rich Reynoso. I'm the vice chair. To my left is
Susan Perez, sorry,
you representing.
Education Committee.
Larry Santiello, Sergeant at Arms.
That's us here in the office. Do folks want to introduce themselves online, just so folks know who they are for the recording?
All right, I'm Sandy Unger, Chair of the Health and Social Services.
Cynthia Rodriguez, Community Board Chair.
Ryan Bartha, Community Development Budget Priorities Chair.
Sorry, Ryan, I didn't mean to talk over you. I'm Hazel Mura. I'm the Secretary of the Board and Co-Chair of Transportation.
Is that it? I think so. Okay. All right. Review of meeting minutes. I don't think we have that available. I don't have those here with me. Well, I'll ask about that after the meeting.
But one thing I want to be clear on, one thing I'm at the very minimum I'm trying to do is, so let me share what the attendance from last month, just so we're all clear on that. So at least we can see. So you can see September 19th, October, is that that's too small, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So remember, leadership it's designed by not person, but title. So last month, we did have a quorum. We had 9 people in person. We didn't have a sanitation chair, but we do have sanitation, but again, she was excused. So this is one thing I'm doing with all the committees is what we did with ethics last night for the first time, and we're doing it for community development tomorrow. I'm at least attaching this. This is this spreadsheet, this version, or the full board. If you think of how the full board we do it, that's the last page of every minutes going forward. Committee minutes and full board minutes. It's all this trying to do all the same format, with the exception of this one's by title and not name. That way, at least we are getting that done. We do have minutes getting into the office. Our biggest, at least my biggest priority has been doing full board minutes. Harriet and I have been working on them. We're going to have full board minutes for next week, at least September's. And Harriet's just about done with basically the backlog from January to June. So is that clear, Rich?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Do you want me to share the agenda?
Let's rock.
So-
Jeremy, can I just mention something very quickly?
Yeah.
Since you mentioned minutes, I think you were in the loop today as I was sending feverish emails with draft minutes. I opted to do that as a courtesy to keep us in compliance, to make sure that we're all kind of on the same page. But the committees must start submitting their minutes. If you can't do minutes, then either assign somebody, or I don't know, consider whether or not taking that responsibility is for you. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, and one thing we talked about too, I think I should mention, Cynthia, that you and I talked about yesterday. That's a good point. So one reason we've been behind on publishing minutes is I like to make sure they're as polished as possible, that they're standardized, that people aren't going to complain later on. We're going to stop doing that. We're just going to start publishing them just so we can get them up to follow with our legal requirements. I expect complaints about that. Like, again, we live in the age and day of conspiracy theories. So Harriet's here, and Harriet, please chime in, or please either correct me or confirm what I'm saying. We have when I first came to this board, she used to type up 14-page minutes, and I got her down to, and I got her down to 4 or 5 pages, generally speaking. But even then, sometimes it's a bit verbose, and so we cut stuff. People are going to complain that, oh, what are we trying to hide? But we're just going to have to deal with it. So we follow our legal requirement. Just be prepared to shoot any nonsense down. We have a lot of nonsense always coming our way.
Can I
Okay?
say something, Jeremy, if you don't mind?
Yeah, shoot.
The only thing that will help us now that we didn't have before, nowadays, besides the minutes that, like you say, are verbatim, with the exception of motions that have to be word by word, we have the videos. So if people have an issue about something not written in the minutes, they can refer that to the video. So if we can put at the end of all the minutes, a little paragraph or just a sentence, for more in details information, please refer to the video of this meeting on YouTube on our channel. Just add
Yeah,
that.
just to clarify, just because I think you misspoke, but I know what you meant. They're not supposed to be verbatim. Minutes are not supposed to be verbatim. They're supposed to be a bullet point version so you can succinctly see who was there, who voted how, and that's it. I mean, yeah, if there was discussion took place. Don't go into the back and forth unless there's something really, really important. A lot of times everybody types too much. And then when I do a hatchet job to them, people get upset. But those people, generally speaking, don't understand the point of minutes.
No, you misunderstood what I said. I'm saying people would like to have it verbatim, but the minutes are not supposed to. If you need
Yeah.
it verbatim, refer to the video, to the YouTube, and you can find out all the details over there. That's what I said.
Yeah, no, I know that's what you meant, but if you listen to the tape, it's probably not exactly what you said.
Oh, okay.
That's why I just want to make sure people are clear on it. All right.
All right, so I think it's fair. I don't think it's unreasonable to put in a little blurb at the end saying for more details, please hyperlink the meeting. That's fine. And then in the meantime, let's get these drafts up, marked as draft, and then we'll take it from there.
And the other thing too, just to be clear, so I rely on Chris to publish stuff. Like generally speaking, I make it nice and neat. You don't have to go through me. I mean, if Chris or Harriet sees something objectionable and they'll notify me. But other than that, you just want to send them to Chris, he'll publish them as is. Doesn't mean it'll be nice and neat, but at least we'll get a draft up there. I mean, ideally,
and
when you send us
it keeps
minutes,
us in
send it to the entire
compliance.
staff. Sorry, Cynthia, you said something?
No, that at least we'd be in compliance if we at least do a draft.
Yeah, the legal requirement is 2 weeks following the meeting. 2 weeks following the meeting, they should be published. They don't have to be finalized, but they have to be in draft form. Ideally, they're voted on the following month in committee. And that's why, but here's what I also need or ask for. Okay, again, some people have done minutes. Some people have sent them in. That's great. And we should publish them, not necessarily by the snap of the fingers, but stay on top of us. It's not, I'm not saying that you have to stay on top of us, but until we get all the time, but until we get into the swing of things, then until then, I'm asking you to help stay on top of us. This when it came to this thing we voted in June, that I think Ryan proposed in transportation, I asked him, I said, look, I feel bad that, this is taking a lot, but stay on top of me. He did. Did I get it done right away? No, but eventually I got it done and it helped. And I asked him to, basically just give me a nudge. Does that make sense?
Yep, let's move on.
I got one quick
Yep.
question. Who's in charge of doing the minutes?
Ultimate responsibility falls for the chair of the committee. Well, in the case of the board meeting minutes, it's the secretary of the board.
So why are these minutes not being?
Executive board meeting minutes, I'm not sure, but probably, I mean, ultimately the board as a whole is responsible. Okay. Ultimately,
Thank
the
you.
board as a whole is responsible.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the draft agenda for next week, if you may, Jeremy.
So everybody see that? You mean zoom in?
You zoom in a bit.
Now the meeting information is going to change. All right, because we're meeting on an off day. We're meeting on a Wednesday. So given that we're meeting on an off day today and there's no quorum, there's a great chance we're not going to have quorum next week. So staff, board members, we need to do our due diligence and reach out to all these people. I mean, because obviously a text message, we have 4 unaccounted for, well, no, we have 3 unaccounted people for tonight. We have excused people. Great. I mean, things happen. We can't avoid the excused people. So I gotta check the link. It's gonna be different. It's on Thursday, Wednesday, the 30th. Okay. And it's gonna be currently at Einstein. Yeah, so I gotta come back. The link's gonna change. I don't know what it is right now. Because it's an off thing. I don't even have. I came in. It's actually.
Hazel has a question. Hazel, go ahead. Hazel has a question.
Hi, I don't have a question, but I do have, I would like to make a statement before the meeting even starts. Because Harriet and I take the minutes, I take very detailed minutes, and so does she. She takes them a little differently than I do. And we do, work off each other's work. But there are times when people are making motions, and then the motion gets seconded, and we have a really hard time trying to identify who the second was. So I'm just going to make a little announcement that people should, when they do second, they should actually say, I'm Hazel, I'm seconding. And also in the gallery, some people are not really identifying themselves, their first and last name. And I'm also going to say that if they have an unusual name, I would like for them to spell it out, because, I'm very bad with spelling, and especially names. So those are kind of 2 or 3 things that I would like to say before the meeting starts.
That's a really good point,
That's fair.
Hazel.
That's fair.
Okay.
But I need to piggyback on that because it segues us into the gallery. But in addition to that, so one thing that Harry and I had last month for the November minute or the September minutes, because I go over the minutes with her too. So we have 2 leases now, right? We want to be very clear on who's voting how. I don't think we have a couple of Rodriguez's, but that's usually not a problem because first names are easier. And it's what we generally go by. But a lot of times at these meetings, people, oh, no. This at this point, we need it for the recording. We need it for the minutes. Because technically, legally, we have to know how each board member votes. Every board member needs to be accountable. So speaking of the gallery, something else that has come up is, so I've had problems with how the gallery operates currently.
Hold on, before you start, segue into the gallery, Jeremy. I know this is a big deal, but can we go through the agenda first and then add it?
Yeah, that's number. Well, I mean, Pledge of Allegiance and Moment of Silence are self-evident, right?
Okay, so gallery. So number 3.
Yes, gallery.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
So, does anybody concerned about how we currently operate with our gallery session at the full board, not committee, full board? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, I mean, I've always felt that the gallery session, a number of things. There should be a limitation as to how much time we dedicate to the gallery session. Registration for gallery session being done at the last minute when we're expected to post agendas 36 hours in advance. It just kind of doesn't make sense to me. So those are little procedural things that we need to rework, rethink. We've got to keep our meetings, moving in a productive way.
So if I may correct you, no offense, but it's actually 24 hours in advance we have to publish it.
Yeah.
We do have a requirement 36 hours in advance for those registering online that will be speaking online. But yeah, if we have to publish the agenda 24 hours in advance, those speakers should be there on the agenda 24 hours in advance. We shouldn't allow this last minute sign up at our office or at the meeting. Naomi or somebody was going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to understand completely. Is there an issue with the way that people are signing up? Like, do they understand how to sign up? Like, because you just said that there's a way to sign up online, to speak online. Are they understanding that they, when they get up there, they're supposed to be doing 36 hours? Because I think this has been going on for since I've been here, like 4 or 5 years. So there seems to be some kind of disconnect with signing up for speaking.
So during the pandemic, when we met fully remote, we enacted a rule 36 hours in advance because of the 24-hour rule. Because you tell me 24 hours in advance you want to speak, I'm sorry, I got to type your name in. I got to send it to Chris. I got to publish it. When people sign up in person, they don't do that, right? Because historically, we never met online. We never had that issue. We never, whoever signed up and spoke. We didn't have a website to publish. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, we didn't have a website before as district manager.
Right.
So, and the problem with the signups, so first of all, some people like to speak last, some people like to speak out of turn, whatever. I mean, I think people should speak when they register, as soon as they fill out the slip. I mean, if they're doing it online, I've had an issue. We've had issues where people don't know why they're speaking, why they're up there to speak. You've seen it. You see these people kind of fumbling. And now those are people in person, but also I had a woman that registered online. The topic she wanted to speak about was everything. I mean, I could be wrong, but we shouldn't allow people to speak about, this Community Board 11 in the Bronx, not Queens or Manhattan, right? So when I had this issue, luckily this person registered in advance, so I was able to flag it. I called the person. I said, are you going, I'm sorry, I'm trying to clarify what you actually want to speak about. And they said to me, oh, is this about Pelham Parkway?
No.
And then I was like, you tell me, because you were the one who registered. And then they told me someone else told them to sign up. And I said, okay, well, I can put it down, Pelham Parkway. I didn't throw them off the list. They stayed on the list, but they didn't show up anyway. But again, if they register in advance, we have more than 24 hours to toy with these things. That's why we set 36 hours back in the day, is to give us a full business day, basically from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. the day before, to hash this out. And then 4:30, I send it to Chris. Here, Chris, publish this. These are the last remaining docs.
It appears to me there's a process problem. So my thing is, or my recommendation is that the person signs up, but they have to say what they're going to talk about. Because we had 20 people talk about Pelham Parkway. That wasted 2 hours of the board's time. And then we couldn't get to the issues that we needed to get to. So I think the process should be they sign up 36 hours in advance, what they're going to speak. And I'm hoping that your office can sort through and let people, back or call them and say, we already have someone speaking on this topic.
Yeah, and I probably was going to go with that. I'm not on my A game tonight. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail why. Just please bear with me. That's why Chris and Harriet are both here tonight. Chris, so there is a registration form on our website. If you go to the contact us page, Chris texted me. If you go to there's a registration form, and I could pull it up if you want to see it now. But you can select if you want to speak remotely, you want to speak in person. So we have that idea in advance. And I understand that not everybody's tech savvy. So then you call the office. Say you have a disability, so you can't use the.
All right. So let's do this, Jeremy. Because let's see who here is against this idea. Who has the con side of this? I think most folks agree to the idea of signing up online before the meeting instead of signing up in person. Does anyone have an opposition to this idea?
I'm fine with it. Sign up before.
Anyone oppose? Any discussion about opposition?
I would just clarify that, Rich, with doesn't matter if it's online, if you call the office, as long as it's 36 hours in advance. But ideally, it's online, and the sooner and they should be, you sign up, and whatever order you are on the agenda is when you should speak.
Okay.
So this
You speak in the order in which you were, in
Yeah.
which you registered.
Okay, so I
24, 36.
think it's 36. So you saying 36 or 24, Jeremy?
36 is, if you got to publish your agenda 24 hours in advance, if you give it to me, 24 hours and 1 minute before, it's 30
Ellen,
days.
yeah.
I can't speak now. I'm
Sandy,
actually,
can you mute, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Because think about it, the meeting starts at 7 o'clock. So if you're going to email me at
Ellen,
6:59, we're not even in the office.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So I think 36 is good.
I'm fine with
36.
36.
Are we making a motion?
No, we can't.
We
We're not.
can't.
We're
We
not.
don't
We
have
can't. So, Jeremy, how do you want to do this? I think most folks agree 36 hours before the meeting. Folks have to sign up. But I don't think we're going to have this for the next meeting.
So I think we
Warn
let
them.
it go for this Wednesday's meeting
And
and
warn them.
bring it up.
Yeah,
vote on it on
That's a good idea.
Wednesday.
There you go.
That's it. No more.
Motion for it on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
that makes sense. Jeremy, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, of course, because we don't
Okay.
want to pretend that we're trying to curb
right.
people's right to speak, right?
But can we add it to the agenda saying there's going to be a new business motion for 36
Well,
hours
we can't.
in
We
order
can
to
add it to
sign
the
up?
agenda, but it won't be. We'll have to make a motion, and somebody will have to second it, right?
Right. I'm saying make it under new business, saying
Yeah.
that, like say something like new administrative rule or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just so that we don't forget, because sometimes we forget.
Well, maybe we should bring it up at the very beginning before the gallery session speakers speak, so in case they want to chime in, because
Well,
if you
isn't
do it
everything,
after that,
isn't everything up there already passed through committee or voted on already? Isn't this new business?
It is new
it
business.
would be new business, but
Oh, that's-
I mean, this is the committee to come up in, and so yeah, but okay, I get you, because it'll come up in leadership next month. That's what it will do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to implement it on Wednesday, so we'll bring it up as new business, vote on it, and then for November, November, we follow the 36 hours.
I
I think it's also to include that the people that sign online, I send them to Jeremy in the order in which we receive them. And that's the order that they'll be put on the agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll mention that at the full board meeting next Wednesday.
But
Thank
let me
you.
tell you something Harriet's complained to me about in the past, and that we've had a problem with in the past, that we've allowed in the past, that I don't think we should allow going forward. And it hasn't happened recently, but like, you sign up to speak, you should be the one speaking. You don't cede your time to somebody. To me, that makes ultimately no sense. What's the
thought we
point of
did
you
put that in the
registering
bylaws.
if
I thought
that-
that was already in the bylaws. I thought that was already in
yes,
the bylaws.
that was already.
it's in the bylaws? Are you sure about that?
I don't know
No.
about in the bylaws, but we've
I
done
don't
it.
think, no. We had an
It wasn't- it
extensive
wasn't
discussion,
passed?
But
It was
I don't
passed in
think it
committee.
was. I
Oh,
think
the motion I made last year.
Where's a copy of the bylaws?
Oh, I have somewhere.
It's all right. We'll figure it
I'll
out.
pull it up.
Yeah.
So I think for now, we have this 36-hour registration proposal for new business. Jeremy, let's move on.
Hold on. Yes, but again, we're going to take the time here to save us time in the long run, right? So
I can't
when it
vote
comes
for
to,
anything, so talking about it amongst ourselves is great, but there's no.
yes,
there's no
I know.
quorum.
So can we move
Much as I
to,
love it.
yes, but can I say what I got to say? I mean,
Sure.
it's up to you. If you want me to stay silent, I'll stay silent.
go on.
So we believe that when you register is when you should speak, right?
Yes.
So that includes the slips that Chris is going to get. As soon as he gets it, I think Chris should write 1, 2 on each slip as he gets it filled out. And they should speak only in that order. You shouldn't diverge from that order.
Yep.
Also, we should look at who wants to speak and not have 5 people speak on the same topic.
That's usually a job we relegated to the Sergeant at Arms to rectify historically. Chris, am I wrong about that, Chris?
Well,
When Frano was
I
Sergeant at Arms,
think
would come over.
Yes.
Rome
You're right
wasn't
on
built in a day. I think we should start small.
I got a
But that's a
question,
whole
Jeremy.
nother argument.
Jeremy, I got a question.
Yeah.
If somebody steps number one and says, "Oh, I'm talking about Pelham Parkway," and somebody registered again, they're gonna talk about Pelham Parkway again. Do we stop them? Or do we let them keep talking?
Can I intervene?
Yeah, no, of course.
What we should do is, one, speak for,
Pelham Park.
and then we ask for someone who wants to speak against it.
Okay.
And then we have both,
All right, not the same
Not
thing. Fine.
5 or 7 for it, for against it,
And 7 against 4. Yeah.
and no one on the opposition, right?
Correct.
So give the ability of for it, against it, and then we close it there.
And then another thing too, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You're not gonna give no more than 2 minutes, right?
I mean, the bylaws allow the chairperson to give up to an extra minute.
Also,
it's in
that
the
person
bylaw.
with the
Can't
2
stop
minutes,
that.
minute will do
Or
it
we,
next minute.
or they could ask the person if they're talking like for a certain committee, they ask, will you give them an extra minute?
Well, the bylaws allow the chairperson an extra minute. Chairperson.
So
of
we'll
the
give
board.
Madam Chairperson,
Right.
she'll let us know. They go, give them an extra minute. We'll just give them an extra minute.
Right.
All right.
Okay, yeah,
Madam
sorry,
Chair.
I'm sorry
Okay.
to be brusque, Rich. I just want to make sure we got an orderly meeting next week.
Sure.
But all right, what's next, Rich?
So no more new members, chair's report. No more interfaith.
Well, I had interfaith in the exec board meeting as new business.
No, that's exec board, and that was a
was-
holdover from last month.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
was over. Okay,
Unfortunately, sometimes
Yeah.
I don't look all the way down when I'm editing.
that's fine. Just wanted to make
So
sure.
review meeting minutes. We're gonna have meeting minutes published. My
Yeah,
report.
but it
Go ahead.
wasn't voted on.
What, no,
Interfaith.
no, but you think it's taking it off?
Yeah. I thought
No,
it-
this
You
is
did.
this is.
He
I
withdrew.
deleted it.
He withdrew the
You-
proposal.
Yeah, see, there's nothing here in front of me, or in front of the
Okay.
screen. So, yeah, so Cindy, if there's something specific you want me to put on there, you'll let me know. Committee reports. Who voted what this month?
I
Anybody
don't think
vote?
economic.
Economic
we had
development
anything.
didn't even meet.
No.
No.
Parks didn't meet either.
Did
Transportation,
Parks
did they
didn't
vote
meet.
on anything?
Transportation,
Chris,
they had the
you remember?
presentation.
Hazel?
Ryan is there. Oh, Hazel's there too. Yeah.
Did they
Yeah,
vote
we,
on-
no, there was a motion, but it didn't go anywhere.
Okay. Leadership doesn't have a quorum. Community development is meeting tomorrow night. So that will, if they vote tomorrow night, they'll be updated based on that. I don't think, Cindy, I think we forgot to send out a notice about Mary. That's why Susan is here
Correct.
tonight. Susan is the new acting, well, she's the co-chair, so she's now acting chair of education because Mary has, so we should put that on, under the chair's report.
Yep. That's fine.
What happened
what
to
hap-
Mary?
Yeah, what happened to Mary?
She
Got a
resigned.
new job
Moved
up in
away.
Albany.
Well, let's not give too much information. She moved out of the city.
Okay.
She got a new job in.
So you have to be a New York City resident to be a board member.
Jeremy, you forgot on economic development. It has to do about that liquor license, since, economic didn't meet. You guys
So we
have to
should put that
discuss
on
it.
there. We got a,
Yes,
it's a renewal, Chris.
it's a renewal, yes.
So I'll just put it on the agenda. If you guys want to vote on it, you'll vote on it.
It cannot be done today because no motion can pass since there's no quorum there, so.
No, but we'll put the item on there and then the board wants to vote, we'll vote on it. So do you remember the establishment, Chris?
Oh, I know he's in East Gariel Road. I think it's 15. I gotta look into it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right, so Chris, you want to look it up while we do this?
Go ahead.
1215 East Gun Hill Road, Bowler's Bar Company, Corp.
Thank you. So everybody has that. If anybody has any questions, please ask them before next week so we can try to. We never do anything but nice now. I don't know if you ever heard back from them, Cynthia?
I did not.
Okay.
What do you need from them?
Well, we wanted to send a letter of support and we couldn't
Oh,
agree
that's
on
right. I remember
word.
that. I apologize.
Well, I just gotta mute myself. Anything that was voted on else needs to be voted on.
Seven months.
Land use is meeting on Monday.
Okay.
Jeremy, you have to change the alphabet order.
Yeah, I'm multitasking. I have a childcare issue tonight. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. So anything else for the full board agenda, or can we go to the calendar?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't see my grassroots. I need a date in November when everybody's gonna do it.
Where would that fall under? I forgot.
Is that old? Would that be old business?
Naomi has a question about grassroots. It passed right at the last board.
I just need a date from the board where they're
Yeah.
gonna submit.
So would that be
So-
under old
Damages
business?
were what?
Yeah, that'd be under
November
old
2nd
business.
and 30th, I think.
Because oh God, I don't remember what I said.
It'll be Harry. Do you want to check your minutes? It's in the minutes. no?
November, I think you said November 2nd and November 30th. Is November 2nd the first Saturday in November?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so those were the 2 days.
I got something that day.
One
I know it's.
no, November 2nd, November 23rd, and November 30th. I'd rather the 23rd.
Is it?
But
Second.
November 2nd, November 23rd, November 30th.
Here, hold on.
November 2nd now.
November 2nd. Say it one more time, please.
What
Sorry.
she said? November.
November 2nd, November 23rd, November 30th. And number the second, I'm hooked up now.
I have something on the third. I have breast cancer this weekend.
Oh yeah, me too. You gonna go Park City?
Hmm?
You gonna walk? You doing a walk in
That's
Park
really,
City?
yeah, UFT walks. I'll be wearing a pink.
I'll be there.
Cool. Look for the UFT flags, you'll find them.
What about the conduct statement? Shouldn't we start putting that on there that it should be read?
We did read it.
Yeah.
We read it at the beginning of the
Let's
meeting.
put it on the agenda so we don't forget.
Okay.
You want it at the very beginning? You want it after the Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence? Probably after the moment of silence makes the most sense.
Time at the moment of silence. Yeah. It'll be perfect before the gallery.
Okay. Forgot transportation. Post. Can Cynthia, we're gonna ask Sandy to have a bylaws meeting next month, right?
It's like urgent. Like this,
Okay.
we've got to go over, the stuff that we've looked at briefly. This issue with committees.
So it doesn't matter where. Do you want it alphabetical after leadership? Sandy, are you prepared to talk to your committee members? Remember, we had a bunch of issues last year.
Yeah, I think you better give me a list and we'll look at some of them. And I'll have to talk to the people to see if they can come. I don't know about Ken because, he's
Yeah.
passing of his wife, but I will get in touch with some of the others.
All right, so I'll put it as agenda 9B or
Yeah, but let
under
me know.
leadership.
But remember, you have to tell me what you want or what you think should be looked at.
Yeah, well, so
If
the
we want to
executive
look at the
board
committee
agenda that-
meetings,
Yeah, I got stuff for you.
all right.
Yeah, we had it on the executive board agenda, but I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Just a quick note, an email went out, I believe it was to all board members with regards to trying to improve upon the quorum and our meetings and, looking for suggestions on how we can streamline things, combine committees if needed. Did away with the non-standing, great, but we're still having an issue. And I only had 3 people respond to me to that email with any suggestion. And like we've really got to work together to try to figure this out because it's honestly, it's just not a good look that we're not making quorum at meetings, we're canceling meetings. Today was different, but canceling meetings because there's no agenda item. I'm sure we can come up with something to discuss for a particular committee. So at this point, if we're going to be canceling committee meetings left and right, let's just combine some of these committees so that we can get some quorum, we can get some people coming to the meetings and try to address some of the issues that we need to address. Questions, comments, or objections?
Cynthia, let me ask you a question. Can you combine 2 board meetings, 2 committees together?
She just
Without
said,
pushback? Without pushback?
Oh, like me, just
Like
by
saying-
myself? No.
Like saying sanitation with transportation or transportation with environmental protection, and that's it, it's a done deal. But we have
No,
to vote
can't.
on it?
No, it
Well,
has to be
committees have to
voted
agree
on.
to it.
No.
currently.
But then both committees have to agree.
Well, the board as a whole, at
Well,
the full
yeah,
board
the
meeting,
board
the
as
board
a
as a whole
whole,
could
not
vote.
necessarily the committees.
So we can all vote in the whole board saying we're gonna put these 2 together.
Yeah,
I think
and,
that's a good.
and you can do that without a bylaw change to see how it works out first before you set it in stone. Yeah, there's been talk about public safety merging with either parks or economic development. And I think
Yeah, I
everybody
mean-
knows at this point. Go ahead.
I mean, I think what we've been doing is waiting for folks to be okay with it. But I think at this point, we should just,
Yeah.
we need to just do it. Obviously, we
Yeah.
need to vote on it, but I think we've been very patient about having both sides say, hey, do you actually want to, merge? Obviously, there's pushback from both sides because, whatever issues, but I think we're going to have to come together as a whole board and just, combine committees.
I think so.
So
Thank
I think
you,
that's
Rich.
we have
Well,
to talk about it.
Transportation doesn't have an issue with quorum. It's sanitation has an issue with quorum. So combining them isn't going to solve. Combining them is not going to solve that issue.
So what do? We get rid of sanitation?
No.
I'll put it
No,
with
I
Bob.
think that people need to start coming to meetings.
But what if they don't
If
show
you're,
up to
if
meeting?
you're not,
Okay,
you're not
but they
gonna
don't.
I know, but if you're not gonna take your responsibility seriously, then you should get off the board and let somebody
So
else
in
come in that's a little
so
more serious than you.
and
Because
and
then
I
it's gonna be the same thing. Then we're just gonna have a transportation meeting and not a sanitation meeting. That
I mean,
doesn't
so
make any sense.
I completely agree with you. Let's say we do say you're off the board, we still won't have sanitation meetings. I mean, so we need to
Right.
fix the problem of not having meetings.
Right.
If I can combine committees, then I'll have meetings. Is what
Yeah, but there'll still be an issue with quorum because, so you're saying that if 2 people from sanitation and 7 people from transportation come, that makes the quorum? But you're still only having 2 people from transportation. Why should that fall on, from sanitation? Why should it fall on transportation?
Well, I think it's how you perceive it. If you look at it as combining this committee and that committee, then it seems, kind of onerous. I think if it's a matter of looking at it from a overall view, like we talked about in the past, let's say making a municipal services committee. I'm just throwing that out there, like Community Board 10 has. Then the focus includes transportation or whatever committees it has. But it includes these different elements in one committee, as opposed to thinking of it as 2 separate committees that are now being kind of divvied up or separated. And I think it's a matter of kind of perspective, for lack of a better word.
I think it needs further discussion.
Yeah, we'll discuss
I
it. But to be honest, if you guys don't even want to know what I want to say, but if folks don't come to meetings, they should be kicked off the board.
Thank you.
I've been
Thank you,
waiting
that's,
for a bit. I mean, and I'm patiently waiting. I know I've been sitting on this for a while. But if folks do not come to board meetings or committee meetings, they should get booted. The only thing I've been trying to figure out, and I need to talk to the VP, is how can we get more people voted in? Because if I keep picking folks out, we're gonna have like 10 folks on the community board. Which
Exactly.
I need
well,
all this math.
I'm pretty sure they have a list of people that want to join community boards.
So then the issue is there a way to add folks later in the middle of the year? I don't know. That's what we got to figure out.
All right, so that's,
The
yeah.
VP,
so
the
then-
VP
The
office,
board
VP's office
president
can
has
appoint
put
anytime.
people on the board at different times, whenever it was convenient. So there's no rule that says it has to be put on in January, they have to be put on in June. Whenever the
Okay,
borough
so
president decides to put them on, and when you need them, you can talk to the borough president.
Yeah. So that's a good
The
point. So maybe
question is, has that
Go ahead.
happened in practice, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had people resign, we've had people, whatever, and those openings have not necessarily been filled.
I think you have to put a fire under the borough president's butt.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
I have another question.
What sense?
I have another question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
to
Yami.
interrupt. I have a question. The sanitation committee that's not meeting quorum. Has anyone spoken to anyone on the committee? Is there a problem? They don't like the committee? Like what's going on? Did anybody talk to them?
I know one person not removed, but one person stepped down from sanitation at their request because they didn't even want to be on sanitation in the first place.
So, okay. So, and what about everybody else? How many people are in there?
Currently, there are 3 people,
There's
and
3
there's a
people.
new chair. So a new day has arisen, maybe.
Yeah, maybe if you have 3 people on a committee, I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Hey.
Yo, weren't you in a car?
Oh yeah, once you
Superwoman.
right.
You look like you were on a highway. And I'm like, please tell me.
Go ahead. You online?
Can I make a suggestion? Previous
Yeah.
years,
Go ahead.
what was sent out was a request to the board members. What committees do you want to be on? List them 1, 2, 3. And then the chair would pick who was going to be on what committee. So you'll know that if they're not interested in, don't bother to put them on.
Right.
And that is in
You
our
know,
bylaws,
has to
but
be something
Cynthia's
going
ever,
on.
Cynthia's
Go
ever
ahead, I'm
practical though? Sorry, go ahead.
What, you said, is it practical?
Well, it's in our bylaws, but I'm sure the chairperson thinks it's practical. I mean, last I spoke to her about it. I mean,
What? Which thing?
the survey thing versus just talking to these people and getting it done. I mean, that's correct me if I'm wrong, Cindy. That's what we did this time. You just spoke to them, you figured out what they wanted, we gave them a little time, and that was it.
Well, yeah, that's with the new members. I don't know what the discussions were with the prior, committee members. But I mean, something's got to give at this point. Sorry. If people aren't happy with the committees they're on, I mean, maybe limiting each person on one committee for now until we sort it out. Maybe people are on too many committees. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I think you need to look at the whole thing, all the committees, how many people are on there. And those people that are not showing up, you need to find out why. And then those that are 3 people and they don't want to come, I think we should combine, just consolidate.
But isn't there something in our bylaws that I've heard mentioned that if you're out 3 or
You
6,
get removed,
I
yeah.
forgot the number,
It's 6.
right?
It's 6. I looked it up.
You get removed.
It's
You
6.
get removed.
It's like 3 consecutive. Wait, it's 5.
Can I get a copy of the
I
bylaws?
forget,
Yeah.
You
But
can print copies too for people.
yeah, so I mean, this is something we have to talk about next week in full, because if we're gonna, try to combine committees, we have to talk about the idea why we're looking to do that, and with everyone. And folks, need to understand if they miss, and we should decide this next week. If you miss X amount, you're gonna be removed from the committee, and you'll probably get removed from the board. And then the next step for us would be is to have a one-on-one conversation with the BP's office and say, hey, because of lack of attendance, we have to kick everybody off. No one's,
And now we have no community.
now we have no community board, so now we need more people. And that's the issue. We can't kick everyone out and then have, no
Nobody.
no business. So
Yeah, so it's 3 non-excused consecutive absences.
Yeah.
Or 5 people from full board.
we-
3 non-excused consecutive absences. 5 total from full board.
it's 5 months.
Or 3 non-excused absences from committee meetings.
So this counts as a committee meeting.
This would,
Yes.
They already have this full
Yeah,
committee
that's
have-
in the bylaws.
Yeah. Okay.
so Jeremy, do you think you can give us an updated? I know you started yesterday with ethics in terms of that committee. Do you have like a running tally of where we are right now on attendance for people?
Yeah, but because the fiscal year's July 1st, there's not much. We have to go back to last year to see where people were really screwing up. But I can tell you, I wish Veronica were here because her and I had a conversation not too long ago. It could have been a week, could have been 2 weeks or whatever ago. Because when she was just you gotta remember, it's I know it's fun to be a chair of a committee, but like when she was a public safety chair, she told me how she would always reach out to the members. I think Naomi's pretty good about emailing her members, reminding them, hey, everyone. I think Ryan maybe does that too. So and I forget who else does that. Not saying that not everybody does, or maybe
I
not
did,
everybody
Jeremy,
realizes
but
they should do that, but you really should check in with your members.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have to
sure,
take the
remember
hard
the part.
opposition on that line because we're adults and we signed up for this
Thank
job
you.
as a volunteer job. If we're doing this, we should want to be here. I'm sorry, I take the opposite view.
It says it on the application.
And I appreciate that you guys call me and text me, but if I don't show up, it's on me. I messed up, and we're all adults here.
You're
I
right.
think so. As much as I agree with you, Jeremy, if folks don't show up, it's on them. I saw Brian in the hallway the other day. He said, "Rich, I'm not going to show up to leadership. I'm being remote." I'm like, "Thanks." It seemed like things like that.
I'm gonna, can I say something? I'm gonna follow up on Rich. I used to work at the borough president's office. I was working with Freddie Ferrer and Adolfo Perry on both terms almost. And I was liaisoning for all community boards from 1 to 12. And believe it or not, it came to one point that community board 3 ended up with only 17 board members. Why? Because the rest of them weren't committing. But guess what? It worked. 17 board members, but they worked their butts off.
Mm.
They really worked their butts off. So what's the worst? Rather go for quality instead of quantity.
And I gotta say, I appreciate what you said, Rich, because historically, the way this board is operated is the staff would have to call these people because that's what the chairperson at the time wanted. It's like we had to hold their hand to go to give them to those meetings. So I agree with you. I have no qualms with chopping heads. I'm just telling you that that's what worked for her, for Baraka, for public safety.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, but it's like I feel like you guys staff waste a lot of time doing the hand holding, and that's what I
Fine.
think you're doing a lot of that, and we're losing the vision in terms of what we're supposed to do. So I think we all appreciate the calls and the texts and all that. I really do. But if folks don't show up, it's on them. You know, we can't pull teeth here.
Huh?
So should we go to the calendar then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Charging cord before my laptop dies. Okay, so we're looking at November. So today sanitation needs to move. Wendy's not here. I will follow up with her on that. Transportation, education, housing. We have a opening on the 13th, social service on the 12th, parks on the 14th.
Put it up, the calendar.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I
No
did
worries.
that already. Yeah. I have it on my computer, but not yours.
That was like yesterday in 41,
Yeah.
41 slides.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, can you see that now?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. Bear with me while I run and grab my laptop charger. All right. Go ahead, discuss.
That's one reason why it's important that if the chair of a committee cannot attend, they contact the co-chair so that we could set up the meetings instead of having to wait for the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this meeting should.
Hazel, can you do transportation on the 4th?
This meeting should have 4.
Wednesday. 6.
You're on
Sorry,
mute.
as far as I know, it's good. The rabbi hasn't said anything, so I think it's good.
I mean, who wants to do the sanitation want to do the 5th? That's election day.
Well, like I said earlier, I'll follow up with Wendy. Since she's the
Let's
new
move
chair
them
of the committee.
anyway. I feel like, can we move them without the permission?
Yeah, we can move it, but I mean, ideally we would vote on it, but yeah, we're not gonna have a meeting on the 5th anyway. So I'll just move it, and then I'll follow up with her anyway. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it works.
I mean, I don't know of any agenda items, right? Besides, we got one liquor license, no agencies come to us. We got the old street activity permits, but other than that, I don't know of anything. Chris, do you know anything? Harriet, anything we got in the office that would hit? No,
Not
Sandy's
so.
very good about having a guest. Naomi's good about having a guest. I don't know. Does anybody have a guest speaker?
So the question for transportation, is anything for the agenda for November?
Lining with sanitation again? Yeah, I don't know of anything. I mean, Rabbi's not here either, so. Well, Hazel's here. Hazel's the co-chair. She just said she didn't know anything. Right?
I said I have no problem with the 4th.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We can always cancel it. It's easier to cancel it than nowadays. I know how to cancel it easier than scheduling it. Ethics, public safety, economic development. We might have a vacancy of the public safety chair. That's the other thing too. We didn't have quorum and we had the commander of the 49 precinct at the last committee meeting. So that's another reason why we got to be on top of this quorum stuff. But
How many
we
people
don't
is
have an
public-
act. What's that?
How many people are in public safety now?
5. We only had Hazel and Ellie Rodriguez. So what are we doing about the full board though? And leadership?
Oh, I see. It's Thanksgiving.
Well, to that, I don't think that the Wednesday will work for me, so we'll probably have to move ours to that Monday or Tuesday. But that Stacy and I'll talk, and hopefully we'll all talk about that tomorrow.
Maybe that oh wait, you're talking about down here, sorry. Yeah, we got a real problem here.
Well, I mean, how do folks feel about the 26th for a board meeting?
I know Hazel has a precinct council meeting, so she'll be excused.
Okay, that's 20. Okay, because I feel like the
People
Wednesday
might be going on the 27th.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Wednesday's tough, no?
For which one?
For the the 27th,
Oh, absolutely not.
right?
Usually people travel on the day.
Yeah, so let's try again the 26th then.
The 26th, I work the night shift.
That's no. All right.
The 26th is the precinct council meeting.
Okay.
I'll be on
So-
vacation, so I won't even be here, but can we
So-
do it the 21st? The week before?
That's leadership.
Hold on. So
That's
let me
the
think
other
this-
meetings.
Hold on. Can we combine? Hold on. Can we combine sanitation and health and social services? One at 6, one at 7, and then do. Oh wait.
You know what?
Mhm.
Okay, you could hear me.
No, not yet.
I
Hold on.
have one speaker, I don't think she's gonna be on very long. And after she speaks, then you could do the rest of it.
Do me a favor, Jeremy. Go back up to the next week.
Go back up to the
I'm at the
12th.
top. This is
Go back
No, I
up
know.
to the 12th.
You can't see you can't see the 12th?
No, go to the next week, the 3rd week.
Down. I mean down.
I
Okay,
know
right
that
there.
I have one speaker coming from the Echo Free Clinic, and she and some of her colleagues will speak. I don't think they need 2 hours. It will probably be short and sweet. And then if the other committee wants to have a meeting, they can.
Yeah.
Well, if we combine sanitation and transportation and parks and public safety, that would kind of take care of that, or public safety and economic development. That would free up some room right there. So that's another impetus for us to maybe do that next month. And like you said, Hazel, it'll probably be a transportation committee meeting anyway, if you guys have an agenda items. So if you want to cancel too, if everybody can figure out, before you cancel a meeting, ideally you consult with your members. That's something that Rich and Cynthia talked about. I started drafting an email. I never finished it, but at the very minimum, before you cancel a meeting, because maybe there's something important one of your committee members wants to hear or do or see, please consult them first before canceling. But maybe we cancel some meetings, we combine some meetings, that would free up a lot of space.
Swearing. She got agitated. So we talked to her.
Would you
Sandy,
mind
can you
combining-
mute whatever's in your background for
combining-
yourself?
You go
Sharing the day.
during the day.
You only have the case.
I
You
know,
only have
okay.
one.
So, Hazel, can you do the 18th for public safety? If we move it to the Monday?
Or uncontrolled muscle movements.
Sandy, you got to mute yourself. Sandy, please.
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. Can I move whatever's on the 21st to the 19th?
Yeah, that works. And then we could have, yeah.
And if I move the 21st to the 19th, then I can have the full board on the 21st.
So the 19th.
So what's going on with public safety?
I'm moving that to the 18th. No, to the 18th. Okay, yeah.
What
Just
times?
We're gonna do
Or the 20th, it's up to you, Cynthia.
the 20th. I'm off. Public safety would have to be at 6.
Yeah, public safety at 6, if that's okay with Hazel.
The 20th.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so the 18th is good. So it's up to, do folks want to do the full board on the 21st or the 20th?
We should keep it on a Thursday.
So the 21st it is. So then the other question is the leadership and exec, either the 19th or the 20th. Thoughts?
Yeah, but if you have, so the problem is we usually, so because you have to publish it at the location, 72 hours in advance, and we don't decide on everything. I mean, the location's different, but it always goes with the agenda. The only way you know where the location is by the agenda. So that's really doesn't make much sense 2 days before the meeting.
So you say we need to publish the agenda 72 hours in advance?
We need to publish the location of the meeting, but the only place
fine.
the
We'll have
location
some-
appears is on the agenda.
Jeremy, if we hold it on the 21st, that's a Thursday, wouldn't that be at Einstein?
Yeah, I mean, I can put the location here.
Okay.
But it's
that
gonna
works.
follow that format.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we used to have the locations, but then somebody wanted the agenda. One of our former chair people wanted the agendas linked to the calendar instead. That's why that changed. So I'll put the location. That's the only one that will have the location though.
So is
The rest of them, I'm
does
gonna need your agenda.
That's
to
fine.
have
We
the
could just do it for this month.
before his budget?
Brian, do you want to move your meeting to another date at 6 p.m.?
I don't have a strong feeling on it right now, but talk
The
about
only reason is
25th right
to
now.
have your meeting after the full board is weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll have anything that really needs to be,
No, it's not going to be a lot. I don't believe.
because the budget priorities are due before that.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna stay with Einstein for right now. Yes.
Yes.
Jeremy, when are we gonna do that walkthrough with, we gotta do that.
Yeah, we got to
Oasis.
schedule a walkthrough with recording company.
Yep.
I just got to reach out to them.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for the calendar then?
I think that's the best we could do.
Go back to the top. Right now. How we doing? Public safety here. So it's like it's animation. All right, great.
I think we're good. Anybody else have any comments, questions?
Did we put bylaws down?
I think he did. Oh, for the calendar?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But we're gonna have bylaws for sure. So then let's put it up.
Should.
I will
Yeah.
try. I
Sandy,
don't know what date will be
Well, the 12th.
available.
well, the 12th. Same health. Make it,
Share the
Yeah,
calendar, I guess we can see. Share the calendar.
well, it's 6 o'clock. Let's,
Okay, yeah.
already have the same
That's
thing.
perfect. 6 to 7, 7 to 8. Or 6:30 to 7:30, 7:30 to 8:30, whatever Sandy.
No,
wants.
I told the speaker and they'll be here at 7. So I don't want to change that. Maybe
Okay,
I
so
could
then
get it
6.
earlier. I'll have to talk.
well, I'll put it here as a placeholder if that's all right.
Yeah, but
Provide-
I don't know if I could get everyone to come in on that day. or to
Yeah,
meet
that's a good
on
point.
that day.
All right. So I'll just leave it here as a placeholder. The calendars might be changed anyway, right?
Yeah. Don't see it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a map.
Everywhere.
There's a map.
Are they really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Do we
Yeah,
have plans? Are
we
there
didn't have them
plans?
yesterday.
No.
We had a couple.
Oh, you did?
We had one
Oh,
or two.
I didn't see it.
The map.
Yeah, the landscape's more. Definitely. What else we got going on?
I think that's it for the calendar. What's next, Jeremy?
Gallery.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Anyone here want to say anything? Okay, nothing. Anyone online want to raise their hand?
I don't have the hand raise feature. With
Okay,
Web.
Kate.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Ms.
Kate.
Cardona.
All right.
Just a quick thing. Cynthia, when I made the comment the other day at a meeting about not having quorums, it wasn't meant to be like a criticism. It was just an observation. So, it just wasn't meant to, it was just an FYI thing. But I'm glad you guys addressed it because, I do tell people all the time they should become more involved in the community and how many committee meetings I attend online and that they have that option too. And it just, as you said, it just doesn't look great. And stuff. So
100% agree with you, Kay. And trust me, I don't take offense to, to what you said at all. I mean, it's something that I think we've all been aware of and we're all kind of seeing and we're like, just trying to roll with it. But at some point it needs to be addressed. So, just know that we appreciate the time you take to come to all our meetings and always share with us. So.
Thank you. I hope you guys, find a solution. And the other thing is I just wanted to say have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to raise their hand? Be called on. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Yes, hi. Please bear with me because I have a sore throat. My concerns are that the year is ending and we still don't have any full board minutes since Feb 2024, not even last month's full board meeting, which should have been posted 2 weeks after the September 26th meeting. It's still not posted and there's no full board meeting and there's no minutes for any committee meetings. There's no district service cabinet minutes. There's no treasury report on your website. I just don't understand. This is why things are not done streamlined because no one knows what's going on because there's no record unless people take the time to listen to 2 or 3 hour videos. Sometimes that could last long because sometimes board members divert and discuss things that were not even posted on their agenda. So I hope by year end these things are addressed. Should have hands on this. It's very important and not only is to fight the law, but for the community to know what's actually happening within the community board. I mean, I think that's only fair to request. Secondly, I just heard someone talking about Pelham Parkway. And at that time, I brought a lot of Pelham Parkway residents to a meeting because people were very concerned about their greenway. And people outside the board told me they were very impressed by how many people came and how the community, Pelham Parkway has such engaging community and how I was very involved in organizing that. So yeah, so we have very passionate volunteers and residents who love the Parkway and who feel invested and they bring their kids and their parents. But when I spoke to the residents at attending your board meeting, I said, how do you feel attending your first board meeting? Because many were nervous about public speaking. They said, oh, it was okay, but we're very, who put these people on the board? They seem like they're not interested in what we have to say. They look like they want to go home. They look like they don't want to be there. And I was just at the city council hearing, and there was like at least 500 speakers. I didn't speak till 6 p.m. or after 6. And not once did the council members go in the chair say, oh, you're all saying the same thing, so let's just get one person to say this and another person say the opposite. I mean, that's not community engagement. So this is why this board is not going to function because you don't seem to want community input. Everyone has a different perspective, even if it's in the same topic, or even there's some kind of sense of agreement within that same group. People have different experience and different perspectives. You can't just lump all people one person, say one person speaks for that group. And I think that's very disheartening that this board continues to be not wanting to have community input. And this is why this board is not going to function well, because without community, you cannot function, because not this board, but many community members join the board for different reasons. One have political aspiration, other have an ideology agenda, but most join because they want to interact with their community. They want to know about their community. They want to meet community residents. But this is not happening with CB11 because you seem to create systems and bylaws and rules to discourage community involvement, and even your behavior and attitude kind of discourage people from returning to your meetings. And my last thing before I go, because I don't think I'll be joining any more meetings. Last thing I'd like to say is something very important besides the minutes and the you don't enforce the code of conduct, because there's one thing criticizing the board with not having your minutes and not having your agenda and not treating people respectfully. But you have people in the public gallery with an agenda constantly targeting me with personal attacks, not disagreeing with my opinion or with my statement, misinformation and slandering me out of either jealousy, racism, or they're just miserable people. And the gallery session should not be used to make personal attacks against a person character, whether it's true or not. And most of the time it's not true or it's exaggerated. And that should not be permitted. And I see you allow it when it's specific people, especially when it's directed at me. And that's not right. And that's why I like to speak afterwards, because I have to, instead of me speaking about why I'm at the board, mostly I come to your board, not because I want to see your face, because I want to advocate something for my community. But mind you, I'm not going to use your board as a mechanism. I'm not attending any more of your meetings. But if I'm coming to your board to advocate for something, and you have someone constantly going to the gallery session, not to speak for their community, but to undermine my efforts or to slander me, that should not be permitted. And that's not a one-time occurrence. That's constantly the same person doing it in every meeting. So I'd like to thank you for your time and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Appreciate it. Anyone else?
So I don't know if you saw what I put in the chat. I think
You know,
if I'm,
yeah.
correct me
Yeah,
if
go
I'm
ahead.
wrong, Harriet, Hazel. I think Chris could probably publish whatever you did with the board minutes, at least so we have something up there, right? I don't know if you're done with June yet, Harriet. I know you were working today on June minutes.
I sent you the June.
Okay, so tomorrow just forward it to Chris and Chris will publish it. September though, let me tweak the last few things I got, but other than that, and I could touch upon some of those other stuff, but
No.
I will say this, Miss Roxanne brought up a good point that made me remember. There's a reason, so there was a member of the public who spoke in the gallery last month that said, brought up an ethics complaint. In my opinion, they shouldn't have been allowed to speak. I did not shut them down. Cynthia didn't shut them down because they were complaining about her and me. And we didn't want to look like we were shutting somebody down because they're complaining about us personally. But in the future, I would ask that the boards remind, hey, you got an ethics complaint? Great. Handle it there. Next. I mean,
Okay,
I could
thank
be
you,
wrong
Barry.
about that.
Appreciate it. Anyone else new? Raise your hand.
Bob.
I think that's it.
What was that right there? Go to the little participant
Here.
and then scroll. If there's any hand. It looks like.
Robert, do you have something to say, Robert Press? I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
It's going to be nothing about the previous comment.
Okay.
But common sense would dictate that your executive and your leadership committee meeting should be the week before your full board meeting. Now, you have a Parks Committee meeting that night, and it wouldn't have been easier to have your leadership and your executive meeting that Thursday before the full board meeting and move the Parks Committee meeting to that Tuesday night? Am I not right? Rich?
Not going to respond. Keep going.
You're muted.
We're not going to respond. We decided that was the best date. Anything else, Robert?
And I'm sorry you didn't get notice that I wasn't a community committee member of the Housing Committee when you went through your speech and you announced me as a community committee member. The board should have given you notice that I was terminated from the committee for reasons unknown to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything they want to say? All right. Hearing none. Jeremy, I think we're good on galleries.
I do see that, when one of the committee members want to remind us if we are timing. I don't know if we put it on the calendar this time, if we're giving 2 minutes for gallery session speakers.
We're done today.
We'll stay on top of that for next one,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
there's only
Thank
one
you.
person that- I don't want-
Right. So, full business, Rich?
I got nothing. No, for new business, we don't have quorum. Anyone want a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
There's no votes, remember, so it's
Oh.
For the record. All right, thank you,
unofficial
everyone.
meeting.
Appreciate it. We'll see
Get
each other.
home safe, everyone.
Safe. See you next week.
All right, thank you all for your